A big welcome, guys. This is your first day of the 7-day Fund Fast series. My name is Sven Milder, and of course, you have already been watching me on the videos or otherwise on images or otherwise inside of the membership area. And we have created this 7-day Fund Fast series specifically to take you guys on a journey. And during the coming 7 days, we will provide you constantly refreshing ideas, sparkling insights that you can leverage and use in order to optimize your way of thinking, how you think about fundraising, or otherwise what you can otherwise tweak. And I'm super thrilled to actually kickstart this because many of you were actually saying like, hey, is there a way how you can walk us through the bush? And because I want your $27 investment to be a great one and like to over deliver, then I think this is a perfect way, together with all of the other tools and videos inside of your membership area, to really get things going. Now, I will be very straightforward up front in this 7-day Fund Fast series. The goal is, of course, that you are literally doing some of the assignments, reflecting to yourself, because that's the moment where you really start making progress. Now, and in today's first day, we're going to talk about actually the basic, your fundraise journey explained. So welcome to Fundraise Journey Explained. My today's purpose is to 100% talk you through your full fundraise journey. What is for you out there, what to expect. But before really doing that, I think it's really interesting to first stop for a moment and go over the 10 reasons why entrepreneurs actually fail to raise capital. And with my true goal with the Get Funded formula is to provide a framework that makes fundraising extremely easy. And though fundraising has been, we feel that we carry a lot of weight on our shoulders. We see a lot of people actually failing in the whole process. But what nobody really tells you is that failure is actually a decision. And a lot of the failure can be avoided. And that's what we do within the Get Funded formula. And for example, within our Get Funded formula accelerator, where we're working on making companies extremely investable by checking out their fundamentals, their investment story, the way the company is organized, prepare everything thoroughly before going out for funds. Now, and if you just think like, okay, I want to raise some money and let me knock some doors to investors, then you're setting yourself up. So without further ado, let's kick off with the 10 reasons why founders in the first place fail to raise capital. And I really would like to challenge you and invite you the next time to really, when you see some of the news or where you hear some of the stories, you should actually question yourself, but hey, did you really do everything what it takes in order to raise capital successfully? And many times it's actually not, right? And I dare to believe, specifically, that we know that 75% of our students in our Get Funded Formula Accelerator raising some kind of funding, then it means that if you're doing the right things at the right time, things start really working for you. So once we go over this list, please ask yourself, with any reason, how can I change this? What are opportunities out there so I can really get the maximum output out of this exercise, right? And then maybe create some action steps. So feel free to stop this video when I'm discussing it and zip a cup of coffee, a wine, whatever you want, and write down some stuff, because then we are starting a new journey internally with ourselves that is problem-solving orientated. Now, the first one, which is quite common, founders don't have a network of investors, and likely that's also the reason why you are here today, right? Not having a network of investors is like being in love with someone, and there's no one you can date. So you need to find the date, right? And the fact that you made this purchase, yeah, will set you at least up already by creating your full network of investors in the best possible way, how we do it as well. But of course, you need to have a network of investors in order to thrive. The second point is they lack experience of how to raise capital. Now, if you just go out there, or you're checking out the web famous, that's how I like to call it, the web famous playbook, going through all of these blogs, all of these YouTube videos, typically all of the stories that you hear on the street, nobody really tells you how it's being done. And if you follow those strategies, yeah, then you will quickly will find out actually that if you do the same thing like everybody else is doing, yeah, then you're not really prepared well, and otherwise it's like a lot of people are typically following each other's lead, but it doesn't mean that it's a success story for you. So the two parameters are they don't follow the right process. More about that later. And I guess this is one of my secret sauces. The preparation has simply not been done. And if the preparation has been done, then it's not battle proof and not ready to excite or attract these investors. They simply don't take the die-hard action and reflection. This can come through being ego. I really love my business, and sometimes even I hear that some founders who try to convince me to invest in their business, yeah, that they almost get angry. They're so much believing in their own business. They're super stubborn, not open to hear actually what can be improved, and they're just a bit too lazy, or otherwise not really having the willpower to succeed. Now, and the willpower comes together with the reflection. So let's say the next time you're meeting an investor, right? See this as an MVP. You know the MVP, right? It's like a minimum viable product. Your pitch deck, your investment story, your investment opportunity, the way you deliver your message is also an MVP. So you want to constantly, from someone that sees these decks the whole day long, you want to not try to convince them. Yeah. No, you want to literally use their brain to make your business better. Now, let me repeat that one more time. And otherwise, stop the video after this and write it down. The investor, you don't want to convince them early stage. You want to use their brain and their expertise to make your business better. Big concept. What happens? It's like you're getting mentored by a professional, right? And if you are starting really to motivate someone to invest in you, then he or she, the investor, will also become very protective against you. Another point is the business simply doesn't allow scale. Well, why is it important? Unless you're an investor, like to be interested in an interest or something like that, that's a different story. But if your business doesn't allow scale, it means it cannot reach a certain level of revenue, a certain level of size. That means that the investor is not able to monetize on his shares. And it means as well that he cannot get a return on the business once it gets sold. So specifically applicable to brick and mortar businesses, there's no automations or technology into place, which means more people, more cost, no cost saving. There's not like a clear process that is being architected. Where do my clients come in? How do they convert? How do we bring the delivery? How do we retain them? And the product delivery is then also a pain in the ass. I'm not mean with product delivery like, okay, order a pizza and get it delivered by a delivery boy. No, the product delivery. How long does it actually take from the moment someone decides to use your service so you can deliver on the outcome? So let's not never forget, someone works with us, uses our service to really get a certain outcome. Let it be an on-demand delivery service, let it be a taxi service, let it be a B2B software platform, let it be a AI messaging tool, let it be an agri-tech, let it be a bus ticketing service, let it be a fashion AI personal assistant, let it be an e-wallet. Everyone uses you to get an outcome. Realize that. An additional point is their business economics and fundamentals are broken. And this is one of the points we are working on in the accelerator, because you can raise as much money as you want, but if your business economics in the basics are broken, your customer acquisition cost, your customer lifetime value, there's no profitability inside. You have not a clear road how you can scale these actually, where logically the customer acquisition cost needs to be lower than the customer lifetime value. And many products have, for example, one product, but a one product is not a business. And in order to become a business, we need to create a, like I like to call, like a product suite, right? So if you have more products, that means that you can gradually ascend your client into other services that you offer. Hence, your customer lifetime value grows. Hence, you make a profit as well between your customer acquisition cost. So, and then suddenly your economics are getting real. Now, and perhaps your fundamentals in terms of teams, in terms of market, in terms of the product deliverables are broken. Another big point is, of course, the business sails in a red ocean. And what I mean with a red ocean is if you have a lot of competition, right? That means that you need to spend so much money in order to get customers on board. Now, once you design your business, you want to be thinking, how can I be at least 10 times better than the competition? And I think the key here is actually that you're stopping the video for a moment and really, or otherwise share to your team as well, how can I be 10 times better than, for example, the competition? In what way can I over deliver? In what way am I faster, smarter, technology driven? Unboxing experiences, wow factors. Think about it, because that moves you out of the red ocean into the blue ocean, and that's where the money is made. The market is too small or lacks dollars to drive returns. If your market is too niche, then two things are happening. If your market is too niche, then it means that or you accept that your business becomes small, but if it becomes small, it could be that your investor is not interested in investing in it, and therefore, cannot get an exit. Or if your market is too small, you should have typically a higher priced product, so at least you can monetize on the smaller market. An investor is interested in getting returns. So if your market has too less buying power or is too niche, it stops. No clear road to a company exit. You will be surprised always when we onboarding our students into the accelerator. We bring them through a worksheet process. And that's like a golden nugget for us, because we know by now that most of the founders, once they start into a program, we don't want to throw people in front of a bunch of videos and really do it yourself. No. After doing this for a longer while, we found out that if we're creating a worksheet assembly process, so we give you a 40-page Q&A where you can zip at your coffee, wine, beer, whiskey, whatever you need, perhaps even with your team, to really double down on everything that is available in your business, and that you can later on use as ingredients to structure your fundraising and to prepare your fundraising like a pro. And what we constantly encounter is that nobody thinks about the exit. Nobody thinks about an exit. So if you literally, right, if you at this moment of time have no exit in mind, then it's very difficult to get an investor on board, because an investor is interested in monetizing your business through acquisition. So unless you're, of course, a profit-based business, then it's not a problem. But still, then attracting investors. So if you say, yes, I would like to sell my company at a certain time, which I think in this short life that we're living is a significant milestone that makes your friends, family proud. So great to do. Then you need to think about the exit, right? So one of the assignments is create a exit path for yourself. Identify clients, competition, or other partners that could potentially take you over. No product market fit, big thing. Everybody goes busted with this. Your client, you have created a product, but they don't want it. And I mean, I'm the victim of this, because when I started my first company, which was an express logistic company, I brought all of the expertise from the West into the East, and I wanted to force my team to make something that was working in Europe. And that cost me a lot of time, energy, and money. And eventually, the fact was that the market was just not ready for that. Currently, they are, but at that time, not. So you need to be sure that your client wants your product, otherwise, it's a waste of time. It does not solve a problem big enough. If your problem is kind of small and doesn't serve a large market, then it's you need to find ways how you can expand that market. And this is maybe also funny. I made a post recently in our Facebook group, so please check it out. Just go to the Facebook group and check my post, and just scroll down. There's an image with all kinds of pills. The problem is a vitamin, not a vaccine. And there are actually ways how you can create your product into a vaccine. And it's not literally, but what I'm trying to tell you is that if you go for a vaccine-driven product, it means that the market cannot live without you. And there are strategies and tactics how you can do that. Another point is an experienced team. I mean, if you have two visionaries in your team, right? And for example, zero integrators, then you're losing out, right? So typically, an integrator is the COO. A visionary is more like the CEO. But if you have too many people in the same seats, then people can maybe not solve the problem, or perhaps your team is, because of the early stage of the company, still lacking the skill. So choosing your team very wisely is crucial, elementary. So pause the video and ask yourself, what are the missing parts that I have currently in my team? And how can I improve that? And please be aware, you don't need to always hire full-time employees. There is, with a freelancer network, significantly, especially during this pandemic, significantly amount of expertise available, right? So you can already get someone for 8 hours and bring in a drastic change in your business and experience. Sometimes people are dreamers, no goal getters, and there's not a good differentiation between the skills, but I already touched based on that. So what you see, we have just discussed it, right? The list of failures eventually comes down to that the founders want to go too fast and lack the skill set and drive to properly prepare their fundraise. And I cannot emphasize it enough. If you prepare it right, things will become easier for you. So the truth is, many of these 10 failures can actually be avoided. And therefore, I dare to say again, if you feel that you are able to you just do things better in your preparation and reflect on yourself, then you will score better. So in our accelerator, we first focusing on getting everyone investable. We're doing deep dive check, business analysis, and once you do that very well, then boom, you're going into the get funded stage. A good tip here, so please review our workshop. and get the book 10 Reasons Why Startups Fail for free. If you go to the main page of the membership area and you see in the corner there a message where you can review our workshop, to just discuss if what we have been teaching to you, if it has been valuable. And as a kind reward, we give you a ebook where I go more in depth over the 10 reasons why startups fail for free. Don't need to pick it up, but you would do me a favor, and by you knowing the failures, you will do yourself a favor. So the key concept to really understand here is sweat more in training, shed less blood in war. And this comes from one of the Italian warriors, right, and from the Roman Empire. Sweat more in training, shed less blood in war. So what that typically means, if you go all in your preparation, then you will not get shot in war. And how does it translate to fundraising? The more you prepare, the better you will survive. So I think I brought that message already across, right? So 90% of the founders go out to hunt for funds with only a pitch deck, right? No proper preparation. Does it sound familiar to you as well? Maybe. Or otherwise you have meet some investors and there's no structured way. You meet 2 today, 5 tomorrow, 2 weeks nothing, 3 again, or you ask for money on the first day. These are just a few of the points that we constantly see coming back, hence I'm highlighting them. So to make this interactive, ask yourself, what else can I bring to the table than only a pitch deck, right? And later on in the 7-day fast series, we're going to discuss the investor seduction lane, which is your range of investment documents, which can really help you to build that momentum. Great. So now we have discussed actually the 10 reasons why, founders are actually failing. So if you want to see then what are the 4 steps, the 4 bricks, that make or break your fundraise. And in this case, make. The key is it's creating momentum. Momentum is everything. And with momentum, I mean, if you're constantly, not updating the investor, not being prepared, meeting today investor, 5 days later one, 3 weeks not, all of these items together, then we're running into a problem. And once we're creating momentum, so we're feeding the investor with new stuff, new things to let them trust us, let them feel comfortable with us, then it really gets interesting. Another point is build a compelling investor opportunity, right? Investor opportunity is literally everything. Once you create an investor opportunity, which means we're also going to talk about that more in the 7-day fast fund series, but the opportunity is the reason why it makes sense to invest in your business. So if you have not architected that properly, then you're losing out. Drive and lead with constant confidence, right? So of course, if someone drops you money, they don't want to invest in someone that doesn't talk their shit. There doesn't talk their lane, walk their talk. We want to do business with people that make us feel great. And I'm sure if you remember, you have been sold to many times before, then if someone just asks you on the street, hey, do you want to buy this? You think, okay, fuck off. I don't want to do anything. And actually, to be very honest, I'm doing the same with you guys, right? So the reason why I ask you to make an investment of $27, because first, I don't like free stuff, right? Because if you pay attention. So it doesn't spoil my email list. The second thing is, I'm providing all of this significant value, all of these bonuses, all of these library full of videos, the workshop, going all in without you pay a dime extra to drive a relationship, to drive confidence that I am, hopefully for you, a nice guy, right? Someone that you would like to do business with. And by the end of this 7-day fast fund series, if you're really serious to bring your startup to the next level, then you have the freedom choice to say like, hey, I want to jump into the accelerator with you. No problem. But the opportunity is there. And if I would just say that on the spot through an ad, you would say, screw you, man. So I'm investing, and you want to invest as well in your investor, so he will invest in you. I need to write it down. Invest in your investor. That's a good point. Invest in your investor, and he will invest in you. Powerful stuff. That's what I always like to do. Your brain goes overdrive, and I just want to write great things down so I can put it in the Facebook group. The other point is de-risking the opportunity for your investor as much as possible. You want to help them, make them feel good about you. So to put raising capital really in context for you, it's actually like a sales funnel, right? Doing the right things at the right time. So how does a sale go? From prospect to lead to convert to sale to retain. Let me repeat that. You find someone who likes your product and services. He wants to become a lead. You make an effort to convert him. You sell him, and then you maintain the relationship. So asking for a deal without creating the momentum, going back to our bricks, is failure. Think about the sales guy who doesn't create momentum, who just after 3 months said, hey, do you want to buy something? No. Asking for a deal without a big bang outcome is also failure, right? So if the opportunity is not there, why should I want to invest? Why should I want to buy from you? Do you feel what I'm trying to say, guys? I mean, you're selling something to the investor. Be proud of what you sell, right? Literally be proud of what you sell. And the other point is asking for a deal without being an authority. Oh, being an authority, So we like to do business with people who know their shit. And if they don't know their shit, we will not do business, so it's failure. Or asking for a deal without making your client comfortable is also failure. Now, this is an interesting topic because we're going to more discuss this in the 7-day Fast Fund series, Fund Fast series. So I found out, that was my big aha, when I was literally running out of cash, knocking the doors of all of these investors in a country where I literally didn't know anyone. I was trying to raise cash for my first venture, right? I was raising $600,000 at that time. And I was failing, constantly failing. Investors didn't want to listen to me, rejection after rejection. I was doing the things that were written online. I was not prepared. I didn't do the things in the right order. And I still remember there was a time that my girlfriend was not with me anymore. Thank God for that. I have a way nicer girlfriend at this moment. But, I found suddenly out, after reading a book of Neil Strauss from the Pickup Artist, what an expat is doing in a strange city. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I saw the comparison between dating, dating for love, dating how you have dated your partner if you have one. I assume so, or your wife or your husband. And raising capital. And there's much to say about that. And we're going to discuss it more in upcoming videos. And I do this to make it easier for you. But just to give you a small little tip, right? Let's say you're dating for love, doing the right things at the right time. So you identify who you like. You act on that person by approaching them. You start teasing that person. You warm them up. Then you ask for a date. It becomes a relationship. And of course, if the relationship doesn't get maintained, it goes to death. So ask yourself again, asking for a relationship without creating excitement, why would that person go out with you? So someone goes out with you, an investor goes out with you when there is something to get. So it's your goal to make things easy, and again, you want to become investable. You want to be that hot company in town. Asking for a relationship without a promise, back to the relationship framework, is also failure, right? So you want to promise and deliver on that opportunity, because otherwise the relationship will not start and will not be taken serious. Asking for a relationship without being attractive. Now, of course, we can take this literally, but asking for a relationship without being attractive is the same if you use your deck and it looks very ugly, and or you're in the pitch meeting and you smell crazy, or you're sitting on the Zoom and you have not organized your backdrop, all of that kind of stuff, right? And if it's in relationship, then of course to have everything to do with being attractive. Asking for a relationship without offering comfort. I mean, security comfort is the best. So that's the same like de-risking the opportunity. Does that make sense, guys? Right? Does this start making sense how this all fits together? My goal is literally not to give you everything here, boom butts. I hope so. But I really would love after this that you walk over your treadmill. You're meeting your friends, you know what we do, we're just daydreaming, and that these ideas start working for you so you become a better founder. And I want to make a highlight here. Everybody is very much focused on raising capital, right? But you as a founder should always raise capital, which means always keep your relationships sharp, always keep on distributing confidence, authority, and trust. But more about that later. So then why do founders try to raise capital in this kind of fashion, right? So why do founders do that? Again, it's the lack of preparation to win the deal. They have no idea actually how it's being done, and that's maybe the reason why they don't know what to prepare. They're going with their 15-page pitch deck, idly, web famous, knocking the door of all of these investors, taking their financials, and that 9 out of 10 times are not congruent with the pitch deck. And otherwise, please check the video data room first, pitch deck last, and then fundraising library. There's no momentum, no opportunity, no differentiation, no de-risking. And you need to understand that if you do all of these things and you don't go the extra mile, in other words, what I just said, you don't invest in your investor, why should he want to invest in you? Knowing that the investor has so much options, do you want to be left out? No, of course not, right? Investors are a rare breed. So a typical fundraise from a failing founder looks like this: limited skill set, limited preparation, straight away goes to hunt for funds. And that just doesn't work. It screws up the opportunity. You face the rejection after rejection. More important is you run out of the available investor options. You run out of cash, which is the debt of your business, and that should be at any time be avoided. You take more than 120 days to get this baby going, and you're stressed out because there's no cash. And this, I wanted to make this slide first longer, but the preparation again is less, and everybody is raising funds constantly for 4 months asking for money. That's just not how it's being done. So there's a better method we are suggesting. Of course, we are talking about all of this stuff here in the upcoming videos that you can just consume, and please steal all of these golden nuggets. But alternatively, if you want to go faster, join me in the accelerator, because you will get better success rates, which our clients is 75%, better momentum, better opportunity, better authority building, better de-risking, and you raise capital on average around 90 days from 4 to 6 investors. By the way, the administration around that, we have engineered to be that almost on autopilot, so founders can focus on deal making. Your focus should not be, fixing constantly your pitch deck, your emails, your reach out, your investment updates, all of that kind of stuff. And I know this also very well, as I'm working, of course, with many founders in SeedStars, global VC firm, as a venture partner, and I see this just constantly happening again and again. So, how does it look like? We're almost there, guys, so stick with me. First, you want to skill up and prepare. These are the 6 steps for us that we always take into account. Skill up and prepare almost a 1 week, getting strong on your fundamentals, your strategies, what kind of investors, how much money you raise, you're mapping out your fundraise, you're getting familiar with certain terms. In other words, same like you meet that wonderful guy or wonderful girl, you want to know before you go on a date what you can expect, right? And therefore you find confidence. And finding that confidence helps you. So start reading books about fundraising, go through our full membership area. I mean, if you go through all of these 7 videos in the coming days, including the exercises, it will just start helping you, right? Very, very simple. Deep business analysis, that's the second part once we start working on getting investable. Takes around 3 to 4 weeks, fix what is broken, to offer skill so confidence is built. And here's a good tip if you haven't already. I'm very proud. I think we're paying almost $100 a month to use this service, so please use it. Take our Fundraise Ready test. It's also available in the membership area. It's 70 questions. I know it's a lot. Takes you less than 10 minutes. And you will get a personalized score. And you see exactly in what area from your fundraise you are currently lacking and where you really need to grow. So after this test that you do, you know exactly where to put your focus on in order to grow the probability to get funded significantly. So go get that test. It's free. And by the way, it comes with a 20-page recommendation report, personalized again. Another point within getting investable is, we're going to talk more about it in the other videos in the 7-day Fund Fast, preparing all investment documents from A to Z. So confidence is built and the opportunity is being de-risked. Your data room, your financials, your teasers, your video pitches, your elevator pitch. What else do we have? Your balance sheet, your scorecards. All of this stuff is just important. And of course, bring all the documents in alignment so the trust is built. And it would be really cool if you really want to go fast. Pick up the Get Funded Launch Tag, which we have designed, which in less than a few days you can get all of these documents made through a very smart system. So I'm going to check that out. It's under the video here. Then we're jumping into the third step, which is seeding the opportunity. Which means that we're not yet raising, but we're getting we make sure that we're getting noticed online by investors, clients, founders, that we are up to something. We are getting more popularity. A good example: joining podcasts, writing press releases, and many tricks. And the investor hasn't seen you yet, right? But once they start looking for you, you know that it's already there. And there's many great strategies, low profile, that you can do, even some secret hacks that you can leverage to boost the probability that you will get looked for and wanted by these investors. Now, and this is personally one of the things that I really like. Then we're going to, for 4 weeks, campaign this deal, right? So it means we're going to book investor discovery meetings so the relationships are being made without any pressure, without asking for money. Squeeze as many meetings as you can in your calendar to create a fast feedback loop. Grab investor advice, fix and update the business. Squeeze as many meetings as you can in your calendar to create a fast feedback loop, and grab investor advice. So remember earlier on in this video, I said okay, your investor, yes, is an investor, but know that this guy or gal is extremely smart and sees so many businesses. So if you approach the investor in another way so he can help you, that is scoring way better, because in generally we people like to help each other, right? And of course, in order to get oversubscribed, more about that later, which is also a video in the Get Funded Fast series. This is really cool, guys. We're going to do a lot of cool stuff in the coming 7 days. And oversubscribed is really what we're up to. But more about that later. Oversubscribed in short means you have more interest than you need. And I would strongly recommend, sorry for referring this, but of course everything is voluntarily. If you haven't picked up your upsell, check out Investor Reach, because there we're going to explain you exactly how you book all of these discovery meetings, so you can turn your investor list into a Google Calendar packed with meetings. Fifth step, raising the round, 2 weeks. And you think like 2 weeks, I just heard 4 or 5 months. Yes, the other founders do that 4 or 5 months. But because we are using strategies to get the round oversubscribed, we just have investors lining up for us, wanting to do business with us, and we handpick the best. Then we're going to close the deal, negotiate with confidence, because we have prepared everything already, and because we have more interest. We keep more equity, and there's of course many other different kind of strategies how you can keep more equity. And I cannot emphasize this enough. If you make sure in the early stage that you keep enough equity, then in your later rounds, of course, that's the road to becoming a millionaire or billionaire. I hate the word billionaire, so let's never use in our calls together, I'm building a $1 billion company. Never mention in your pitch deck, I'm building a $1 billion company, because you will scream everyone from the table. That's the same like you're dating with a woman. She's like, okay, I have so many cars and I love Rolex and I love this. Nobody likes to brag, right? Or where a woman is constantly talking about herself and her beauty and all of the salon treatments she's doing, whatever it is, it all comes down to the same thing. We don't want to brag about billions of dollars. We want to stay humble, right? Cool. This is a big one. This is a product that I have designed, the authority checks. Of course, if you're raising your funds during all of these 6 different steps, we want to keep the momentum going, right? We want to grow our confidence, our trust. We want to de-risk the opportunity, and we do this through authority checks. So authority checks are momentum builders to strengthen the authority. So if it's for a while silence with your investor, you drop an authority check. So, hey, here I am. This is Sven. Hi. This is my update about my business. It works perfectly to get trust and confidence from your investor. So, example of authority boosters are client video interviews, email appointments, client testimonials, podcast sessions, product demos, investor frequently asked question sheets, current investor testimonials, company press releases, investment updates, company partnerships, milestones, achievements, data room checklist. See this again from a relationship point of view with your partner, sending some flowers, doing all kinds of stuff and crazy things to keep the relationship going. So, in short, there are 6 steps. Skill up and prepare, get your craft right, know what you're talking about. If you're visiting a diamond fair, you want to know how to recognize a diamond as well. Getting very investable, seeding your opportunity, campaigning the round, raising the fund, and closing your deal. Now, for us, it's very well. I hope this is extremely valuable. Tomorrow, we have day 2 of the 7-day Fast Fund series. And again, I hope this 45 minutes was very well spent, something that you truly enjoyed. And I hope to see you in tomorrow's episode. Stay cool, guys. Cheers, cheers.